Claire Nelson, and I'm the publisher of Model D Media. Do you guys know about Model D Media? Anyone? Okay. Okay, good. We tell the story of what's next for Detroit every week in an online weekly magazine that you can get on Tuesday. It's free. Sign up. It will change your life. So I'm really excited to be here again this year for this portion of the conference. U of M has been really gracious to invite us to help share stories of social innovation and entrepreneurship in Detroit. And we have a really great lineup today. These people are pretty incredible. Yeah, so at Model D, we're big believers of an idea that small is big. And actually, Josh McManus, who is here today, helped us put it into words for an event we did last fall. You'll see a video of it in a little bit called The Next Big Thing. And the idea is the next big thing is a million little things. And the idea is to start with small steps. But don't be mistaken, none of the speakers here today have, well, they're not little. They have big ideas, they have big dreams, and we believe the collective impact of what they're doing is really, really important. And a lot of them you'll hear through their stories, they're dealing with micro projects, micro funding, empowering people to do more in the city. So that's what we find really exciting about their work. Let's see, and oh, the other thing, because Brian Boyle's here, I should probably say, they're also having a lot of fun doing what they're doing. I think I've been on panels before with Sean Mann where we say the same thing, and it sounds kind of crazy, but they're having a lot of fun, and some might be making money, though I'm not totally sure about that, but there's definitely money involved in some way or another, whether they're creating opportunities for other people or helping to create a new economy in the city. Some people are very successful at what they're doing. Some people are growing small businesses. But either way, it's creating more opportunity and it's creating more momentum and energy and hope, I think, honestly. So before we get started with the presentations, we're going to have a little Q&A with someone who I think you have all heard of, hopefully, in the Detroit media, Phil Cooley. Everyone know Phil's story? Yeah? So he's best known for his popular restaurant, Slo's Barbecue, which is in Corktown and which has now sprouted some other businesses, including expansion and a second location, and then businesses next door, Astro Coffee and Sugar House and Honor and Folly. So earlier today, Toby Barlow showed a slide of Michigan Avenue and the before-after images, and it's really quite phenomenal. But most of Phil's time is spent doing community projects from Roosevelt Park, which is nearby, to Rock United, to his latest venture, Pony Ride, which is an incubator for new businesses and projects in the city. We're going to see a little video, and then we're going to talk to Phil about his work. Thanks. So we have to start with the name, of course. Late Night Brainstorm, what's the story there?
Actually, surprisingly not. Maybe the guy who originally thought it up, he might have been at a bar, but it was a very thought-out process. When we purchased the building, we had folks from all over the community and with diverse backgrounds come in and say, you know, what should this be? What could this be? And throughout, people have been pitching in. So much of what we've been done has been driven from volunteer work. Probably about a third of the project. And one of the things is branding. And we want to be very intentional, obviously, about that. And Pony Ride, of course, is very whimsical and intentionally so. But it's something that's always asked of us. And we just wanted people to be free and creative and back to almost like a childlike state when you had that opportunity to do so.
Yes. So you said childlike, and one of the questions from the conference organizers was, you know, that you're a young guy, and often at these events there would be two old dudes sitting where we are now, and the question then is, you know, what does this say about who is leading change in the city? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it just proves the democratic nature of Detroit. That's why I live in Detroit, is because I specifically am not made up, my makeup is not suitable to go to a traditional city and, you know, climb that ladder. And as you're getting shit on from above, all those years, you slowly wake up and realize that you're doing the same thing to the people below you. So I'm looking less of this structure, but more of this structure of collaborating and working together. I think that's when innovation happens, and that's when we activate our communities and grow together. And so, yeah, this is a city that truly allows that, and I'm definitely a poster child of why anyone can be successful in Detroit. I talked about this earlier today. I dropped out of business school, and I also dropped out of the Masters of Architecture program here, but I get to be a... I loved it. I want to go back someday. But, you know, the thing is that, you know, now I get to participate and be one of the co-owners of a very successful restaurant. I get to participate in design process for public space and really dynamic landscapes. And, you know, I just don't know that a lot of places allow that.
So you talked about this versus this. Do you feel like the older dudes with the power and the purse strings are paying attention? Do you feel that they're getting this?
Yeah, I mean, somebody like Tony obviously gets it much quicker than some of the others of our past. You know, there was definitely a model forever, which was like more money and more lawyers, and we're going to control this. But you know, I think we're slowly. I'm an optimist, maybe Pollyannish, but you know, it's my opinion that we're actually improving immensely. And I'm actually, even though we're improving immensely, it's a slow, sustainable pace versus an overnight boom that's going to, you know, really probably be exploited and taken advantage of, and be more singular in its awards or outcomes. So yeah, I don't know. I think definitely it's a collaboration, though. I don't want to ever say that it's definitely for me about the grassroots, but at the same time, we need a lot of the gray hairs to participate, and it's exciting to see those that have come in and are well-intentioned, and it's even more exciting to me to see those starting to reevaluate their kind of dinosaur-esque practices of more money, more lawyers.
I think it's funny, like amongst our friends who've been in the city, I don't know how long have you lived, or since you came back?
10 years now.
10 years.
In Detroit.
So I've been in Detroit about the same amount of time, and that earlier sense in my time where I thought that there would be this like rebirth or renaissance, and I'd wake up one morning and ride like, you know, a streetcar or like rail, and you know, everything would be dense and super walkable. I've adjusted my understanding of what success looks like, and I think you touched on a lot of those things, you know, sustainability and slow growth and collaboration that takes longer.
Yeah, and you know, maybe we'll have public transportation. I think that would be fabulous in the future, but definitely, you know, my ideas of what I thought Detroit would be in the future based on living in Tokyo, in London, and Paris, and Milan were very, very typical, very Richard Florida-esque. But now that I'm here, like you know, Detroit has taught me so much, and I continue to learn every day. Another reason why I'm here, and that there is the possibility for a different path forward, certainly.
So there's a lot of people here today that may or may not choose to come to Detroit. We hope you will. And what would you tell them about the opportunity there? And then, you know, also what gets you excited when you wake up every morning about the future?
Well, I mean, you know, you mentioned fun earlier. I actually consider my week to be more of a 80-hour play week than a 40-hour work week. So, you know, this is a place where what you do can have purpose. You can be economically viable. I'm not asking anyone to, you know, live in complete poverty. I think we need to address, of course, what our needs truly are. But we, you know, this is something that has to make fiscal sense, not only for the wealthy coming in, but for the folks that haven't had the same benefits that have, you know, been in Detroit for quite some time. So I think that, you know, I don't like pitching Detroit to people, to be honest. I'm kind of the cheerleader from time to time, but Detroit's either right for you or not. You know, we're going to have a lot of people in this room that are going to go to New York, and best of luck. It's just not for me. I love New York. I love visiting New York, but I'm happy as I could ever be anywhere that I know of, so I'm sticking around in Detroit.
Excellent. You sound like Toby Weiler earlier today. Well, those are kind of all my questions. Anything else you want to tell us about Pony Ride or your work? Any projects you're working on besides Pony Ride you'd like people here to know about?
Well, the pony ride thing is really fun for us. And so the one thing that I don't know, I'm confused because there's another video and we have another couple we really want to highlight and it be less about me. That was more of an introduction, and so now we're starting to bring out in the other chapters we're releasing all the folks that are a part of Pony Ride, because that's really the magic of Pony Ride is, of course, its tenants and the work that they're accomplishing. So if I'm repeating anything that was in there, I apologize, but really. The idea that these folks can have space, which they're, really should have readily accessible to them, is been so rewarding. And the fact that we've tried to be as organic as possible in this process, and that's been the most successful part of it, is not putting too much of ourselves in it. Listening, because, I know nothing about hip-hop dance other than I like it, but so when these folks came to us and said, we want to open up a dance studio, does it naturally fit with the woodworking or the, the letterpress? Yeah, exactly. There's so many things happening in there.
Well, list for us some of the businesses that are in there.
Oh,
you
boy.
Could see some in the...
well, instead of the actual names...
Right, just kinds of businesses.
Okay, so there's 2 furniture makers, 3 design builders, a boat maker, a recording studio, a couple film collectives, and some editing suites, a letterpress typeset gentleman. There is an educational space that some folks like Focus Hope and Hygienic Dress League and LTU have been kind of activating, and we hope to continue. There's, of course, the empowerment plan, which is awesome. They're in there. We're so lucky.
Veronica will be here later, we hope.
There's the hip-hop dance studio, Afro drum and dance, modern ballet, and fencing. Bobby Smith, who is amazing. We're so lucky to have him as well. And then there's shared office spaces as well. There's a residency program that we're currently developing once we get the zoning sorted out, to bring fresh eyes in so we can, collaborate and communicate with the outside world as well. So, the idea was always about those collisions, the intentional collisions, and it's been awesome. And I think it's more rewarding, more beneficial for the tenants now that it is hip-hop dance and letterpress versus letterpress and maybe a painter or whatever. Although painters are welcome as well. So.
Well, thank you for your time, Phil. Appreciate it. Thanks for all you do.
Thanks.